The 6th district chose the toughest possible approach. Since January 1st, 2026, a complete ban on short-term rentals has been enforced in Terézváros. 0 days, no exceptions. Anyone who continues to rent out anyway faces inspections and heavy penalties. This decision left many investors asking the same question. If District 6 is slamming the door shut, how are the other districts responding, especially the 7th and of course the 8th district, Józsefváros? For years, both ranked among the most popular spots for Airbnb investments in the capital. The answer is revealing. While District 6 opted for an outright ban, the 7th, 8th and most other districts took a different route. They are introducing quotas, strict conditions and clear boundaries, but stopping short of total prohibition. Today, we'll examine these contrasting approaches and what they truly mean for you as an investor. I'll also briefly explain how you can reach a stable cash flow in a significantly more nerve-soothing way. Let's begin in the 7th district. From a tourism perspective, the 7th district has plenty to offer. In the Jewish Quarter, you'll find iconic ruin bars like the Simpla, street art on every corner, the great synagogue, and countless bars and restaurants. It remains the undisputed party heart of the capital. Little wonder that local residents suffered the most during the Airbnb boom years. Whenever protests against short-term rentals broke out, here is where they started. In September 2025, new regulations came into force. Those made fresh short-term rentals in residential buildings extremely difficult. The limit is 10% of the building's residential floor area. It's restricted to the ground floor, minimum bedroom sizes, plus every single room must have its own directly adjacent bathroom. And if that weren't enough, explicit approval from the Homeowners Association is mandatory. In practice, securing approval for a new Airbnb property in the 7th district would count as a spectacular achievement. Now let's turn to the 8th district, one of Budapest's most dynamic hotspots. The inner neighborhoods, including Palace Quarter and areas around Corvin and Nepsinaz, boast a vibrant local scene with rich cultural and culinary offerings. Thanks to their proximity to major universities, these neighborhoods are also very popular with students. Józsefváros has introduced a 3-tier quota system at district level, quarter level, and at the level of Homeowners Association, the building itself. Currently, 3.52% of all apartments in the district are registered for short-term rental. The new ceiling for the entire district is set at 4%. Now, this is where the specific quotas for individual quarters are important. In the Palace Quarter and Corvin, the quota has to be reduced from currently 7% down to the new 6% cap. In the outer quarters, such as Magdolna or Orgy, only 1 to 2% will be allowed going forward. In addition, a maximum of 10 to 20% of the building's residential floor area may be used for short-term rentals. But the decisive factor remains this: every new short-term rental requires explicit approval from the Homeowners Assembly. This leads directly to 3 scenarios you face as an investor. Scenario number 1. You already hold a valid license. You are in the strongest position. There is no retroactive effect. Even if the Homeowners Association later tightens the house rules, they cannot simply cancel your existing legal short-term rental. Scenario number 2. You want to buy and apply for a new license. This is where things get difficult. In the popular inner quarters like Palace Quarter and Corvin, no new licenses will be issued until the quota drops below 6%. In the outer quarters with lower quotas, there is still some room, but These are often areas where few people would choose to live voluntarily in the first place. That makes the economics somewhat less attractive than, let's say, an apartment with a Danube view near Parliament. Even more critical is securing approval from the Homeowners Association. In practice, as we see in the 7th district as well, this is far harder than it appears on paper. The prevailing mood in most of the historic buildings is pretty clear. Many local owners picture short-term guests as hordes of suitcase-rolling, mostly drunken, stag partying travelers stomping through the stairwells and driving up the collectively paid water bills through excessive showering. Now, that video was fake, but the water consumption worries, they're actually real. Now, anyone hoping for allies will be disappointed. Even existing license holders in the same building cannot be counted on. On the contrary, they benefit when no additional competitors join the building. And don't be fooled into buying a flat in a house where short-term landlords have a majority. You can't even apply for a new license in that building until the percentage drops to 20% at max. Scenario 3. You buy an apartment that already has a license. Now here you have to be particularly cautious. The license belongs to the operator, not the property. As soon as ownership changes, the license is essentially lost. You start from zero and must apply for everything again. In buildings already close to or above their quota, this can quickly turn into an expensive surprise. What seemed like a clever shortcut can become a painful chain of problems. My conclusion on the regulation, both in the 7th and 8th district, the new rules share one key feature. They protect existing licenses. If you already have a valid license, you're safe. For all new entrants, however, the path has become significantly harder, in some cases genuinely uncomfortable. It is important to understand that the massive influx of new Airbnb apartments until 2025 created such oversupply that yields have dropped sharply for many operators, even turning negative for some depending on the location. That is exactly why I want to show you a genuine alternative that can deliver respectable returns with significantly less stress. We are essentially talking about mid-term rentals. Furnished apartments for anything longer than 90 days. Our target group consists of people who want to stay in Budapest for a limited time for work or study, and there are many of them. Depending on your budget, there are essentially two main routes. With the shared apartment model, you rent out a property with 2 to 5 separately accessible rooms. 2 or 3 room shared flats start at around 200 to 250,000 euro, usually generating monthly rental income of 1,000 to 1,200 euro. The strongest yields typically come from the larger 4 and 5 room units, thanks to more favorable purchase prices per square meter. Budgets here generally range from 300 to 350,000 euro, where the monthly income can reach 2,000 euro or more. If you prefer a smaller investment, co-investing remains an option. A concrete example is the following project. A 106 square meter old building apartment was reconfigured into 3 completely independent units. Each has its own entrance, bathroom, and kitchen. So instead of buying the entire property, you purchase one of these units and are registered proportionally in the land register. Prices for such units start at approximately 100,000 euro and generally stay below 200,000, with rents between 17 euro and 22 euro per square meter. This delivers a gross rental yield of around 5%. This approach allows you to acquire property deliberately with your available capital and create your own predictable income stream. In addition, you appear in the land register and benefit from the overall appreciation of Budapest real estate. If this model appeals to you and you would like to enter a self-contained, independently lettable unit with a more modest budget, simply send me a message. You'll find the direct link to this and other projects in the video description. It's also possible to collaborate with us on larger projects. Feel free to contact me. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.